Welcome to QAvalidation.com. So in this video, we will see how we can run the Appium test by using Java in your Android and also in your iOS devices. Okay, so the condition is that if you have Windows operating system, then you can only run the Appium tests on the Android devices, be it on your real device or on Android simulator. If you have Macintosh or Mac operating system, then you can do the setup and run the Appium test in both Android and also in iOS devices. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so before going into the details, let me create a new project and let me choose a Maven project. Okay, so I'll say new project and then select Maven. The reason I'm using Maven project because sometimes if you do normal Java project and like download all the jar files, the required jar files for Selenium Appium to the Java project. So some problems appears when there is a library version change or some updates are coming, then you have to manually what you call reference everything. But whereas Maven, it will take care of all your library management things. Okay, so you just need to only mention all the dependencies. Okay, dependencies are basically the Java libraries that you require to run your Appium test. Okay, so just select the default quick start template and then just say next and just give some artifact ID. So let's say I will say mobile test. Artifact ID is nothing but your project. Okay, the project name. Okay, and let's just say finish and you will get a template. Okay, the quick start template. So here source main Java and then there is a source test Java. This is basically the source folder. Under that you have a package com.mobile.project name. Okay, and there is a pom.xml which we will be editing that depending on the what you call dependencies that we need. Okay, so what I will do for the first thing, I will change everything and I won't use JUnit framework. We will use TestNG. Okay, so for time being, let's delete all the content. We will add our own contents and just give like this. Okay, so let's keep like this. Now let's change the pom.xml. So I have already set up the pom.xml. Okay, so let me go through it quickly. So this is your some artifact ID that you can change. So you can say mobile test. Okay, and then you will have a testng.xml because we are going to use the testng classes. Okay, so for that you need to mention sweet xml file. Under that you have to mention the path of that xml file. For now I have under my current project folder, so I'm not giving any path. Okay, and as I told, the libraries that we require to run the IPM test will be in terms of your dependency. Okay, so here Selenium Java, you have to mention the version. I think it is more than the latest version is greater than 3.11, but let it be with 3.11 and TestNG. Okay, and when you download basically the TestNG from this particular location, this is basically the Maven repository where you will get all the required Java related jar files. Okay, so it will be test actually. A scope will be test when you download the or copy this content. You have to change it to compile. When I tried for the first time, it was giving me some error with the test ng. So just mention is compile, or else I'll put this pom.xml into a shared location, and I will share that link into the description. Fine, and then you need the Appium. Okay, after that POI is for Excel related thing. If you are not dealing with Excel, just leave as it is. Okay, and then Maven Surefire plugin. So this is a plugin which will help you to compile and run your testng XML. Okay, and from where this is coming, so this is basically a variable. Okay, and this is coming from the beginning. At the beginning under properties you will see that sweet XML file. Done. So let me copy it and paste it here. Fine. As soon as you will do save, it will download all the required files. Done. So hopefully all the required files would have downloaded. Fine. Okay. So now let's close this and go to this app.java. Now here what we will do, we will write the logic behind what you call to identify the simulators. Okay, so for the first thing I need to declare a driver, or I need to initialize the driver, right? So for that what I will do, I'll create a static variable, and that should be of type Appium driver. Fine, and with a web element. Fine, and just give a name, and then public static, and here the desired capabilities. Fine, now desired capabilities, just give some name, and let's see, import these details. Fine, okay, now let's write a method to what you call to determine which device you are going to run. So for now I will run the IPM test on the Android handset. Okay, so what I can say, I'll write a method Android underscore launch app. Fine. Now here what I will do, I'll write the logic. Now how can I write? So it should be void because I don't want to return anything. So here we need to mention few capabilities that can determine the devices. Okay, as you have done in your what do you call when you would have done or ever practiced the Selenium grid, then you would have used the capabilities. So set capabilities, and here you need to give the key value pair. First thing is that platform name. Okay, and this should be Android. Fine, now let's copy it. Now device name. Okay, now device name, I'll tell you that later. Now the next thing is that your app package and app activity. App package, and then another will be your app activity. Fine, and these things I'll tell you how to find out. Okay, so device name is basically the device that you're, or the mobile device that you're going to run your test. Okay, and it could be your what do you call a simulator, or could be your real device also. If it is real device, then you can just connect through USB or through over Wi-Fi. Okay, and okay, so now let me show you how does a what do you call your Android simulator looks like. Okay, so this is a Android simulator having a name. Okay, so here I'll just give a brief about how I have what do you call installed and done the setup for the Android. You can use Genymotion. I have a blog link. You can download the Genymotion, and it is free for a single use or personal use. So you can use any of your public email address, and you can register there, and after that it's very easy, you can get it. Okay, so basically problem with the Genymotion is that sometimes you might not get the Play Store there. So if you want to install anything, okay, so that's why I moved to Android Studio. So Android Studio is basically what you call from the Android community. They have developed that tool to what you call develop mobile applications. Okay, so you can install Android Studio. After that you have to install download the Android SDK. So once you have done downloading the Android SDK and Android Studio, then there is an option you can create the devices, that is nothing but your simulators. Okay, so if you are using Macintosh, you have an application that is Android devices. Okay, so what this will help you, this will list out all the Android simulators that you have created in Android Studio. So this is a UI interface. So every time you need not to open your Android Studio and then build it and then go from there. So directly you can, this is a lighter version of a UI interface. From here you can get that that simulator, and also you can add your devices here. So when you say new device, it will give you an option. You can choose the versions of Android 7, 8 or whatever it is there, and this will come specifically from your Android SDK, because Android SDK will be having all this what you call engine details. Okay, so let me cancel it. So as soon as you here I have already opened the what you call simulator, that's why it is coming as stop, but for you it will be coming as a play button. Once you click that play button, you will get this one. Okay, so let me close this one. Fine. So now here the name is Pixel XLO26. So let's give that as a device name. Pixel 26. Fine. Okay. And after that, app package. So here we have to so first thing is that you determine which application you're going to test. So for now, just to give you an heads up, I will use the API demos. So this is a sample application that you can get it. So you can search in Google API demos.apk file. Once you download that from your directory, you can directly drag and drop to this simulator, then it will install automatically. And to identify the app package and app activity, you have to install another application that is called as apk info. Okay, again you can search apk info.apk file, so you will get that application and then drag and drop here. Now here, once you download this will hold all your applications that are installed in your simulator, and then you have to find it out which application you are going to find the app package and app activity. So for now, I have to go for API demo. So just long press on that. Okay, you can see here, and then click on the detailed information. You will get all the details of that particular application. So here under activities section, this is what we are interested. com.example.android.apis, till this much is your app activity, sorry, app package, and then including API demos is your app activity. Fine. So let's just put that one. So this is com.example.android.apis. This much is your app package. Now copy this one and put it in app activity and put a dot, and here it is API demos. Fine. Okay. So your all the capabilities are ready. So how does it determines? It has to be executing on Android handset. This is the simulator name and this is the app, because you have to give the exact path, right, where exactly your Appium test should run. So that is what we are giving here. Now you have to initialize the driver. Now here the same way how we have done in the Selenium grid. Now Android driver. Now we will use a Android driver here. Okay, fine. And here new URL, and you have to give the local host IP address. That is nothing but http://127.0.1 slash, sorry, colon, and this should be on port 4723. This is your what do you call driver web driver port actually, where your server Appium server should be running, and wd hyphen hub. Okay, fine. Now let's just import all the required details, and java.net it should be, yes. Okay, here you have to pass the parameter, the capabilities that you have set, because we are not sending, right, and just put a throws. Fine. And now here just give this one assert not null, and here just pass the driver to just check that if the driver is initialized or not. So as soon as you run this driver equal to new Android driver, what this will do, this will invoke your Android application that will be, that we have mentioned in the app package and app activity. Fine. So we have done one section of that total setup. Now the next thing is that we need to create a test file, test, right, so that we can run the code from there. Now this is basically your common methods. Okay, that's why I put in this. Now create another package, and let's say Android test. Under this you will have all your Android related test cases. Fine. And under this create a new test case and just say test app. Fine. Okay, and here this should be your test ng class. Okay, so here public void, and then just say test, and under this you have to call that, call what, this particular. So com dot mobile dot mobile test. Fine. And under the, and here what you need to do, you need to put the test annotation here. Fine. And here what you need to do, call that. So where is that app test dot, you will have Android launch app. Fine. Just give a method declaration. Fine. And now what we will do here, we'll create another method which will close your application. Okay, so public static void close app. There's nothing, just to say driver.quit. That's it. Driver.quit. Fine. Okay. So now here, put a after test here. What is happening? Let me here import and then B. Fine. Here, sorry, I messed up this one. So let me rectify it. Fine. After test, and here the same thing. Put another method, public void, and then here you can say tear down or something. Okay. This method, what this will do, this will just call your close app, and that should be from app test dot close app. Fine, that's it. No errors. Okay, now we have to set the test ng xml. Okay, because in Maven we have to use the test ng xml. So under that project, click on new file, give that as a testng.xml. Fine, and open it in text editor. Okay, open with the text editor, and I have already a template here. Okay, so just copy it and paste it, and here you need to give that path sorry, app test. That should be app test, right? Sorry, android test, that package name dot test app. This is okay, this is under what, android test dot this method name. Fine. Okay, so our testing xml is ready, and I have mentioned that testing xml in the pom.xml. So I have all the setup already. So I have the android device is also ready with me. So let's go to the home screen. Fine. Now one thing, you need to run your Appium server. For that, you can download the Appium for desktop. So depending on your operating system, you can download that. I'll put that into the description. Once you install and just open that Appium. Okay, so this does look like this, and then here you have to give the localhost path. Okay, dot one, and then you port, you can see 4723, and just to run this server, and here it says in the green text the server is running. Okay, so just put like this, and here what you can do, on your pom.xml under your project, right click on that, run as and maven test. Fine. Now here you can see the Appium and everything put side by side. Okay, some logs are running. Now you can see the application will pop up. It will invoke the application. Okay, and it close rate because we have mentioned the close right there. Fine. So this is the way. Now here I have only invoked that particular application, but here you can write whatever test. You can inspect the elements of that Android application, and you can just navigate or click some buttons, get the text. And to inspect the mobile elements, I have a video on how to inspect the applications, mobile applications for be it on iOS or Android by using your Appium for desktop. You can see the videos on the Appium series in my YouTube channel. Fine. So this is the way you can run your Appium test. Okay. So now we will see how we can run the Appium test in your iOS devices, that is in your iOS simulators. Fine. Now iOS to run the application into the iOS simulators is bit different. I mean, you cannot just download the required file, required application and just drag and drop to the iOS simulators. iOS doesn't allow in the same way. You have to have the code access. Okay, so the whatever application you are going to test, you need to have that code access. Okay, so for that what I will do, I have one code, what you call, which is open source, and we can download that, and I will show you that, and that is based on your Xcode. Now Xcode, like Android Studio is a tool to develop the Android applications, the same way Xcode is one of the tool that you can use to what you call, develop your iOS applications. Okay, so now first thing what we need to do, we need to go to a browser, and then here let me resize it so that you can see it properly. And here what you can do, there is a UI catalog, one application is there. Okay, app code, you can just search like this and you will get the code. The complete code is hosted on GitHub, okay? And you can pull that by using this particular HTTPS URL. Now, if you're not sure how to pull the code from the GitHub, you can watch one of my video on the GitHub pull and push request, where there I have described how to pull the code to your local drive. Fine. So I have already pulled the code into my drive. Okay. So let me open that. So what you need to do, you need to install the Xcode, and it is very easy. You can just say Xcode for Macintosh operating system, and you can download that. It's like a basic installation only. And if you are using Windows operating system, you cannot install the Xcode. It is only for Mac operating system only. Okay. So let's get started. So I hope you all have downloaded the Xcode and pulled the code. Okay. Now what you can do, you have to open that particular code in the Xcode. So just open your Xcode and open project and give this path wherever you downloaded. Fine. So once you opened, this will look like this, okay? And here, let me explain a bit how does the Xcode looks like. So here, if you click, you will get the number of what you call iOS simulators that your Xcode is providing. So you need not to install a third-party simulator like we have downloaded. Okay, it is already pre-built. So just select your required model, and then your application is this one, UI catalog. And here you can see an run symbol. Just click on that. So once you click on this, it will say build succeeded, and your iOS simulator is invoking, and it will show you that application. Okay, so like this, your application is here. This is a kind of a replica of your API demos in the Android. So let me stop this one, because once your build succeeded, your application is already installed. Even though you stop it also, the application will stay in your simulator only. So let me close this. Okay, so now you can see the device name iPhone 8 Plus, and the what you call the platform version is 11.3. So this is what we will mention in your capabilities. Okay, so just go to your app test.java that we have mentioned, and here what I will do, I'll copy paste this, and I will mention, I'll edit with respect to your iOS. Fine. So let's just say for iOS, and here this should be iOS. Okay, iOS, and here the device is iPhone 8 Plus. Okay, and here what you need to do, capabilities dot set capability, and here you need to mention the platform version that is nothing but your 11.3. Fine. Now here the app package app activity will not work actually. You have to get the bundle ID that is for iOS. Okay, bundle ID. I will let you know how to get the bundle ID of a particular application. Okay, and the rest everything will remain same, and this should be your iOS driver, because we are working on iOS, right? Just import this one. Fine. Now I will show you how to get the bundle ID of a application. So let me close this one now. I'm just trying to what you call reduce the load of my machine, because so many emulators and your what you call Eclipse will eat up more processes, and it will slow down. Okay, so here what happens, whenever you what you call build the code, you will get the application, and the same application will be what you call downloaded into your drive also, local drive also. I will show you that path from where you can get this application, because you need to have that application path to get the bundle ID. Now what you can do, you can go to your finder. Okay, and here you have to go to your user, and then go to library, and then go to developer, and then go to Xcode. Under this derived data, and here you have to find out your particular device, okay, the project, and then you have to go to build, and then products, and then go to debug, say iPhone simulator, and here you will see that application .app. You can see app file. Now you can copy paste it to your desktop, just to ease of use, because we will use a command to what you call to get that bundle ID of that particular application. Okay, so I have already copy pasted to my desktop. Now the script or the command you need to run OCA script, okay, hyphen e id of, and then here you need to mention that path, this id OSA script hyphen, I think after this ID single quote will be there, and the path will be your what do you call the path of that application. So let me get that by get info, and then I will get that path. Okay, here, and then here copy paste it slash UI catalog dot app, and then single quote. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's not working. Okay, think it should be ID of you need to mention the app actually. Okay, ID of sorry, I'm saving it. Okay, I should execute. Yes, so this is my bundle ID. Okay, now close everything, and then here you mention the bundle ID. Fine. So this is the way you can mention the capabilities, and then this is the way you can get the simulator. Now I have the simulator ready. I have the Appium server running here. Okay. Now the only thing is that I need to change the test ng XML, because previously we have mentioned for Android test. Now here one thing, we have to mention the test file as well. We need to execute that. So just sorry, I need to create a package first for the iOS. I mean, I always prefer to create different packages for your Android and iOS, because that way it's easy for me to what you call write specific test cases for your iOS and your Android. You might ask that the application always in real time, the application will be same, right? Yes, the application is same and the features will be same or the functionalities, but the way you will navigate in both Android and iOS are quite different, that one, and their what you call locators will be also different. So it's better to keep everything separate so that it will not mess up with each other. Okay, just give test app. Okay, we have already this test app already we have mentioned for the Android. We can copy that one and paste it here, and just change the package only. This should be under your iOS. Fine, iOS test. Fine. Okay, so now test ng XML, go to test ng XML, and here you have to mention the package name is iOS. Fine, let's run this one. So what I will do, I'll go to pom.xml and I'll go to run as Maven test. Now let's put side by side both Android, I mean the Appium server and the application. I think it is not able to get it. So let me just stop the server. Okay, and then run it again. And here's some error I got. So what is that error? Let's see. Okay, so it is going to execute. Okay, it's saying that Android device. Oh, I think something we are missing. Okay, here actually I have mentioned in the iOS. See, this is the problem with your copy paste things. This should be iOS launch app, right? iOS launch app. And here I have in the test app test, I have this one, right? So let me copy it, better option. So under your iOS test, and this is my okay. So it was what you call looking for a Android device. So that's why it was throwing error. Fine. So let's just run this one. Run as Maven test. Should be, yeah, the logs are coming now. So it will invoke the iOS application. Okay, and then it will close it. Fine. Now the same thing, I didn't run any what do you call IPM test. I mean, I didn't do any kind of other navigations or clicking on a button. That you can do that by using your what do you call IPM for desktop inspector, IPM inspector. Okay, So that's all how you can run. This is just a startup guide if you are new to your what do you call Appium topic. So you can use this particular code base by to run your what do you call Appium tests in both iOS and Android simulators. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Okay, stay tuned with such more topics in our YouTube channel and do subscribe. Thank you.